If you do not have any syntax error, now the program will get executed further. And I told you from now onwards, the total process we can divide into two steps: compilation phase and execution phase. In the compilation phase, again it will have three important phases. One is input buffer, input buffer, and then descriptor area, and third one is the PDV. Input buffer is nothing but a logical memory area. The record will comes and joins first in the input buffer. Once the record has been joined in the input buffer, now all the variable information will be get saved in the descriptor area. What information that you can find in the descriptor area? We can find the variable name, the variable data type, variable length, variable label, variable informat, and variable format. Now these six things are called variable attributes or column attributes. This information will be get stored in the descriptor area, and which is also called as a metadata. Metadata is nothing but data about data. Very good. And after the descriptor area, the next the setup is going to PDV. PDV is nothing but program data vector. It is also logical memory area. In the PDV, each variable is going to have one box, and along with the variable that you specified in the program, now you will get two more extra variables. Those are called automatic variables. What are the two extra automatic variables that you can find? Those are underscore error underscore n underscore. And I told you by default the underscore error underscore is going to have a 0, and underscore n underscore is going to have 1. Underscore n underscore is going to have 1. If you do not have in your program, underscore n underscore remains 0. For each observation, the underscore n underscore is going to get incrementing with +1.
Increment +1.
And from, I think, Agility or somewhere we are getting background noise. Okay, and then, so this is the setup, and I told you in the PDV, all the numerical variables are going to have a dot symbol. All the character variables is going to have period symbol. All the character variables is going to have a blank space, and all the numerical variables are going to have period symbol. And this is the end of the compilation phase, and the next one is the execution phase. In the execution phase, what will happen? The program will be get executed. So I told you each record will be get executed by each statement one time. So because of that, now the record will come into input buffer. From that input buffer, it will move into PDV. From the PDV, it will go to output data set. If an observation moving from input buffer into PDV, from the PDV into output data set, then it is called one iteration. One iteration, nothing but one cycle. For each iteration, each cycle, the underscore n underscore value will become +1. And generally, when you do not have any mistakes, you cannot see these underscore n underscore error underscore in the log window. But if you have any error in your program, now the values will appear in the log window. So by reading the log window carefully, we can understand where we have committed the mistake. And this is called a back-end process. Remember everyone, understand? Very, very important. Sometimes even with 3 years interview experience also, they will ask the question, do you know about the PDV? Explain the process that what exactly happens in the back-end. These are the questions that you will get. Clear everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay then. Then we'll move into the next step. Now, I want to create a data set from a text file called demo that every day we are doing that one. Now here we have a SAS folder. In the SAS folder, I have SAS data folder. In that, I have demo1 text file. You know about this text file? I want to create a data set from this text file. Now, how we will edit the program? I'm going to get the path of this one, shift right click, copy as path. Now I will go to the program. Now I'm writing data set name emp, semicolon, in file, path of the text file, semicolon, Input, I want to have variable names empid, name character variable dollar symbol, age, sex character variable dollar symbol, salary, and location character variable dollar symbol semicolon, run. Now tell me, if I execute this program, what will happen? It will create a EMP dataset in the work library, isn't it? Now, if you want to see how many variables we have in this dataset, how many observations that we have in this dataset, how we can understand that one? Now see, I will go to the log window. In the log window, you can find, about the information. The dataset work.emp has 23 observations and 6 variables. So EMP dataset contains 23 observations and 6 variables. But I want to see what are those variables and what are those observations. If you want to see variables and observations, how we can see that one? You should go to libraries. You should go to work library and you should open this data set so that we can find what are the variables that we have, what are the observations that we have, what type of those variables and what are the observations that we have. So we have empid, name, age, sex, salary, and location, and we have 23 observations. These are the 23 observations that we have. Understand this one? But in today's class, I do not want to open this data set, but I want to see all the observations. I want to see the data, but I do not want to open the data set. If you do not want to open the data set, but if you want to see the data values, now we have an alternate. You know what we can do? We can see the data values in the log window. How to see the values in the log window? Remember, in the last class, I told you, if you want to see what are the variables that we have in the PDV, what is the statement you should write?
Put underscore all
Put
underscore.
underscore. Very good. Now I am writing put statement. I am writing underscore all underscore. Now
All
tell
under-
me what are the variables that you can see now in the log window. ఏం వేరియబుల్స్ వస్తాయండి లాగ్ విండోలో?
employee
Along with these 6 variables, you will get empid, name, age, sex, salary, and location. Along with these variables, now we can also see underscore r underscore n underscore, because those are the 8 variables we can find in the PDV. Now see, I'm executing the program. Anyway, you will get the data set. That is fine. But if I go to the log window, now in the log window, we can find all the 8 variables. Now, can you see empid 101, name Usha, age 29, sex female, salary 34,000, location Hyderabad, underscore error underscore is equal to 0, underscore n underscore is equal to 1. Because we do not have error in any of these, now always underscore error underscore is going to be 0. Since is the first observation, first iteration, it is 1. For the second iteration, 2, and so on and so on. So we have total 23 observations. So underscore n underscore is equal to 23. In any of these observations, we do not have any error. So that's why all the time underscore error underscore is equal to 0. So now if you want to see variable values, one, you can open the data set and you can check, or otherwise by writing the put statement, put underscore all underscore. Now we can also check the data in the log window. But the problem of underscore all underscore is it writes all the variables of PDV. Now I do not want to have all those variables. I want to have only employee ID value. If you want to have only employee ID value, now what we should do in the put statement, you should write only that variable name. So put empid. Now see, if I execute this program, yes, you will get the emp data set. And at the same time, in the emp data set, you are going to have all the 6 variables. That is fine. But now, whatever the empid values that we have, now all the 23 observations, 23 values now will print in the log window. Understand this one? All the 23 values is printing in the log window. But now it will print only the values. But in the put statement, if you write empid is equal to ఓన్లీ వేరియబుల్ నేమ్ రాశాను అనుకోండి, ఓన్లీ డేటా వాల్యూస్ ప్రింట్ అవుతాయి. బట్ వేరియబుల్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు రాశాను అనుకోండి, ఇఫ్ ఐ రైట్ ద వేరియబుల్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు, నౌ ఇఫ్ ఐ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ ద ప్రోగ్రామ్, ఇఫ్ ఐ గో టు ద లాగ్ విండో, నౌ కెన్ యూ సీ హౌ ద వాల్యూస్ ఆర్ ప్రింటింగ్? Every time it prints variable name is equal to value. Understand this one? Every time it will print variable name. EMP ID is equal to 101, EMP ID is equal to 102, and so on and so on. Clear this one? Now, but if you didn't write that is equal to symbol, what will happen? It will print only the values, not the variable name. It prints only the values. But now what I am doing is, before the variable name, so now within the quotations, now I am writing, say for example, like this one, employee ID at stances. I am writing something within the quotations, and then after that I have written the variable name. You know what will happen? Every time it will print this text, and after that it will print the variable value. So for all the 23 values, now it is going to print some text like this one: employee ID at stances 101, employee ID at stances 102, and so on and so on. So that means in the log window, you can also print a text by specifying a text within the quotations in the put statement. Understand this one? But if I write a put statement only EMP ID, what will happen? It will write only that variable values in the log window. Could you able to follow everybody? Because this is very, very important concept. We are going to generate a report now. Everybody clear? Now, in the log window, I want to print employee ID and I want to print the name variable values also. If you want to print the name variable values also, you know what we should do? EMP ID space name. Now see, if I execute the program, now what is going to happen in the log window? Now both and the name values. But how these values are printing? Between the employee ID name value, what we have? Between the employee ID and name, we are going to have a single space. Now I want to print age values also. If you want to print age values, then what we should do? In the put statement, you should also write age variable. Now all the three variable values will print in the log window: EMP ID value 101, name Usha, and age 29. Now in the same way, I want to print gender. Who is this? Somebody switch on their video. Can you please switch off? Now, I want to print even gender values also. Then what should I write? Now, after the age variable, I'm going to specify the sex variable. Now, all the four variable values will print in the log window, but between the values, what we have? What is the delimiter we have? Anybody? We have a single space. Very good. In the same way, I want to print the salary values and I want to print even the location values also. Then what should I do? Now I am writing sal, the variable name, and finally the last variable location. Now, if I execute this program, all the 6 variable values will print in the log window. Now, yes, we got all the 6 variable values in the log window. Clear, everybody? So, if you want to see any variable value from now onwards, you can see in 2 different places. One is by opening the data set, and another one is in the log window by writing put statement, put the variable name. But if you specify put underscore or underscore, it will print all the variables that are present in the PDV. Understand this one? Now, Since in the put statement, I specified all the 6 variables. Now in the log window, all the 6 variable values are printing like this one by separating with a single space. Because of that, the data is not in aligned manner. Data is very confusing. It is not in a proper order. So now what I want to do in the log window, I want to print the values at specific columns so that the data we can see in order. How to print the data in a specific columns in the log window. Now, if you want to print data at a specific column in the log window, you know what we should do? In the put statement, before each and every variable, you should specify @ symbol. You know, I'm going back to log window again. Generally, from where the observations are printing, right from the left starting column, first column. So from the first column onwards, it is going to print the data like this one. But I do not want to print their data. Say for example, I want to print employee ID. Say for example, this is the first column, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. From the 10th column, I want to print employee ID. So if you want to print from here, you know what we should do? Go to the program, before the variable name, @ symbol, and write the column number from where you want to print. So that means I'm asking, please print employee ID values from the 10th column of each and every line. So now all the 23 employee IDs values are going to print from the 10th column now in the log window. Now can you see, previously we used to print from the first column onwards, but now the values are printing from the 10th column.
Sir, looks like your screen is stuck because whatever you're explaining now, I'm not able to see
Can't
that
see?
on the screen.
Is the same problem for everybody?
No, sir. We can
No, sir. No, sir.
Shruti, I guess you should minimize it, maximize it, refresh it.
Sir, I'll do that.
Okay. Now, in the same way, the second variable name also, I want to print from a specific column. Then what I'm going to do, I am going to specify again @ symbol before the name, and I'm going to specify, I want to print the name values from the 25th column in each and every line. So now if you want to do that one, now I'm writing @25, select the program, execute the program. Now go to the log window. Now can you see in the log window, now can you see how the name values are printing? Now name values are printing exactly from the 25th column. Now in the same way, I want to print age values maybe from, 40th column. So then what we should do? So before the age, specify @ symbol. Now specify the column number 40. Now if you select the program and execute the program, can you see from the gender from 50th column? What should I do? Before the sex, by the column, select the program and execute the program. Now the sex values will print salary values maybe from 65th column. Now before the salary, @ symbol 65. So that means in each and every line, salary values will print from 65th column. Can you see now the salary values are printing from 65th column? Now I want to print the location values maybe from 75th column. Then what should I do? Now before the location, @ symbol, I want to print from the 75th column. I'm going to specify 75. Select the program and execute the program one more time. Now go to the log window. Now can you see? Now the location values also print. Now can you see? the data is in aligned manner. It's easy to read and easy to understand. Understand?
Sir, what about result?
Result view window is also just so it is an optional. I selected for the result view window. Both are same. Output window and the result view window are same. If you want to use this one, otherwise we can disable this one. I will do one thing. See, now I'm going to the tools. I'm going to the options. There in the options, I'm going into preferences. In the preferences, we have an option called results. I have a tick mark for create listing, create HTML. Since I have a tick mark in both, that's why I'm getting my result both in output window and the result viewer window. If you do not want to have a result viewer window, untick this one, click on OK button. From now onwards, you will not get that output window. You will not get the result viewer window. You will get only output windows like this one. So if you want, you can choose that HTML. Otherwise, you can disable that one. Understand this one? మరి ఇప్పుడు నాకు లాగ్ విండోలో ప్రింట్ చేయాలంటే ఏం చేయాలండి? ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు హ్యావ్ ఎ లాగ్ విండో,
Just remove the file.
you no need to write this statement at all. You no need to write this statement at all. But if you want to write the statement, what we should do? File, you should write log. Now, if I select the program, execute the program, now I'm going to get the result in the log window. Now see, if I go to the log window, there we can find. All I want to say the variable values. Now tell me where we can see the variable values. We can see the variable values both in the data set and now we can also see values in the log window. By the way, all I want to do is to see the values. That is only what I want to have. I want to see the only variable values. If you want to see the variable values, now we can see in the data set, we can see in the log window. So by seeing the log window, that would be enough for me. My purpose is getting served. When the purpose is getting served, then why should I create a data set? I do not want to create a data set. Now, if you do not want to create a data set, then why should I write the program?
Underscore, null underscore.
You're not audible, sir.
Okay. So now I can see the values in the log window. That is only my thing. I can see the values in the log window. Then why should I create a data set? I do not want to create a data set. So I'm deleting the data set. But if I delete a data set and if I execute the program, then again what will happen? It will create data set again. When I do not require, why should I create a data set unnecessarily to lose some space? So I do not want to create a data set. That's why I'm not writing a data set name. So data, simple I'm keeping a semicolon. Then what will happen if I execute this program? Since I'm not writing the data set name in the data set, what will happen? It will create its own data set. Can you see this one? It will create a data set called data1. So we are going to have 6 variables and 23 observations. Again, if I execute the program again one more time, it will create one more data set called data2. How many times execute, those many times it will create a new data set. Actually, I do not want to create a data set. That's why I'm not writing the data set name. But what SAS is doing now, every time it is creating one data set. That is even more big, even more unnecessary data sets. What we should do? If you do not want to execute, if you do not want to create a data set, I do not want to create data set, but I want to execute this program. If you do not want to create a data set, but if you want to execute the program, what we are going to do? In the data statement, we are going to write a concept called underscore null underscore. What is this underscore null underscore? Underscore null underscore is a special purpose data set. It is a special purpose data set. And what it can do? It will not create a data set, but it will allow us to execute the program. So there will be some scenarios where we do not want to create a data set, but want to execute the program. In such scenarios, we are going to use a special purpose data set, which is called underscore null underscore. Could you able to follow what I'm saying? So ఇప్పుడు నేను అండర్స్కోర్ నల్ అండర్స్కోర్ రాస్తున్నాను చూడండి. ఒకసారి లాగ్ విండో మొత్తం క్లీన్ చేసేస్తున్నాను. Now I am executing this program. See, there will be no data set will be get created in the work library, but in the log window, now we can see all the 23 observations. Even I want to have the same thing. Understand this one? My purpose is getting served. Yes, I'm not getting the data set. I'm happy. So if you do not want to create data set, we use a concept called underscore null underscore. What is this? It is a special purpose data set. What it will do? It will not create a data set, but it will execute the program.
Want to execute program.
But it will execute the program. So ఈ రోజు క్లాస్ లో మనం null reporting చూస్తున్నాం. Whenever you want to do the null reporting or data step reporting, we use a data underscore null underscore concept. And in future, during the advanced class, we are going to create macro variables. To create those macro variables also, we use this underscore null underscore concept. Okay? Now, and after that, now tell me, if I execute this program, where my data is displaying now?
Log.
Why log window? Why it is log window?
Because you're not specifying the data set name.
Because you are specifying in the file statement. In the file statement, we have log. In the file statement, we have log. But in the file statement, if I specify the print option, then what will happen?
It should output window.
It will print the data in the
output window.
Now, what I'm going to do, I do not want to print the output window. I want to print on my desktop. So what I'm going to do, I will go onto my desktop. On my desktop, I'm creating a text document. Right click, new text document. I'm rating it as a name, EMP report. This is a text document I created. Now I'm going to get the path of this one, shift right click, copy as path. Now go to the program, and instead of file print, I'm replacing that with my text file. What is this one? On my desktop, I have a text file called empreport.txt. You know, what will happen if I select the program, execute the program? You know, you will not get the report in the output window, or you will not get the report in the log window. Where you will get now? That report will be get exported into this document.
Desktop.
Now I'm going on to my desktop. On my desktop, I have EMP report. If I open this one now, can you see where we have the data now? Now the data exported onto my desktop into a file called empreport.txt. అంటే మీరు అసలు ఫైల్ స్టేట్మెంట్ రాయలేదనుకోండి, ఎక్కడ సేవ్ అవుతుందండి, ఎక్కడ ప్రింట్ అవుతుందండి రిపోర్టు? లాగ్ విండో. మరి ఇప్పుడు ఫైల్ స్టేట్మెంట్ వేరే ఏం రాయొచ్చండి? ప్రింట్ రాస్తే ఎక్కడ ప్రింట్ అవుతుందండి?
అవుట్పుట్ విండో.
సో అక్కడ కూడా కాదు, నాకు ఎక్స్టర్నల్ లొకేషన్ లో కావాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి ఇప్పుడు?
Desktop path.
Right? Wherever you want to have this report, give the location of that one. Automatically in that location, the data is going to get print. Now, yes, in today's class, we are going to discuss second new statement, which is file statement. In the mundu manam eppudu discuss cheyaledu, and today's class we are discussing about file statement. You know about in file statement, right? What you generally write in the in file statement?
Path of the
Data line.
path of the
File.
So if it is initial data, we write data lines. If it is textual data, we write the path. So that means in file statement will tell you In file statement will tell you from where you should get the data, from which location you should get the data. Now file statement work exactly opposite to in file. In file ఏం చేస్తుందండి, ఎక్కడి నుంచి డేటాను తీసుకురావాలో చెప్తుంది. File statement will tell you where you need to put the data.
Yes.
So by default, file statement will export the data into log window, and you can also do that one into output window. Now we can send the data to some external location also. So file statement print the data in other location. It export the data. Into other location. So by default log window or output window or into external file. Now we have seen so far input statement. Generally what we write in the input statement, we will write the variable names. Now whatever the data you got from the in file by the in file statement, now the input statement will capture the data into these variables. Now put statement works exactly opposite to input statement. Now whatever the data that we have, now the put statement will write the data into that variables in the location specified by the file statement. And the file statement ఏ లొకేషన్ అయితే స్పెసిఫై చేస్తుందో ఆ లొకేషన్ లోపల ఏం చేస్తుందంటే put statement writes the data. What it can do, it writes the data in the location specified by file statement. Understand this one? Now in today's class, by using data underscore null underscore, by using file statement, by using put statement, we are doing reporting. Since I'm doing this reporting by using a data statement, we call it as a name data step reporting. Since by using a null statement I am reporting the data, this is also called as a null reporting. So null reporting అన్నా డేటా స్టెప్ రిపోర్టింగ్ అన్నా కానీ సేమ్ అండి. జనరల్ గా రిపోర్టింగ్ ఎప్పుడు కూడా ఎలా చేస్తామంటే ప్రాక్ స్టెప్ తో చేస్తామండి. మీకు గుర్తుందో లేదో, ఇన్ ద స్టార్టింగ్ ఐ టోల్డ్ యూ డేటా స్టెప్ ఈజ్ యూస్ఫుల్ ఫర్ యాక్సెస్ అండ్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ and proc step is useful for analysis and reporting. 99% of the time we do data reporting by using a proc step, but only one scenario, that is the data step reporting or null reporting, we can also do the reporting by using a data step, and which is by data underscore null underscore. Could you able to follow so far? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Now I want to do the null reporting. You know about the SAS dot class, right?
Yes,
Everybody knows the data.
Yes.
Now I'm creating class data class semicolon set. I am writing SAS help dot class semicolon run. Now tell me, if I execute this program, what will happen?
Class
Going to create the data class.
It will create a data set called class in the work library.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So what is the SAS help dot class? We don't know.
SAS help is a default library. In the SAS help library, we have some ready-made data sets. I think you joined late, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you see here in the library section, we have 6 libraries. All these 6 libraries are called system-defined libraries. Nivedita, where are you from?
Sir, sorry, I didn't get you.
Where are you from?
Even location?
Yes.
Rajmundry, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you are from Hyderabad, so that we have started morning 7 o'clock offline. And I want to say that if you
No,
miss
sir.
any class, okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So
Okay, sir.
I will let you know if I have any online new batch. I will tell you, so that you can cover all the backup classes. Okay, but because SAS
Yes,
is a very important library. So
Yes.
whenever you install SAS software into your system, by default you will get the libraries. These are called system-defined libraries. And in that we have maps, maps GFK, maps SAS, SAS help, SAS user. These are the libraries. What we can have in the SAS help, in the SAS help we can find some ready-made data sets. Okay, so whenever you want to practice SAS programming, every time creating a data set is a pain, like it will take some time. Why should I create every time a data set to practice? So that's why I will use these ready-made data sets which are available in the SAS help library. Okay, and one among them is a class data set. Now, can you see here in the SAS help library we have a data set called class? Now,
Yes,
what
sir.
I'm doing from the SAS help library, whatever the class that we have, I'm copying that into work library. ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తాను అనుకోండి ఏమవుతుంది ఇప్పుడు సాస్ హెల్ప్ లో ఉన్న క్లాస్ డేటా సెట్ నుంచి వర్క్ లైబ్రరీ లోపలికి క్లాస్ అని ఒక డేటా సెట్ క్రియేట్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. అండర్స్టాండ్?
ఓకే.
అవి రెడీమేడ్ అందులో ఉంటాయా సార్, మనం పెట్టుకోవాలా అందులో?
ఆల్రెడీ రెడీమేడ్ అండి. మీరు సాస్ ని కనుక మీ సిస్టమ్ లో ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసుకుంటే ఆటోమేటిక్ గా ఈ డేటా సెట్స్ అన్ని ఇన్స్టాల్ అయిపోతాయి.
ఓకే ఓకే
ఓకేనా?
ఓకే సార్, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ఎప్పుడు కూడా సెట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఏమంటే ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ డేటా సెట్ నేమ్ రాస్తాం, డేటా స్టేట్మెంట్ ఎప్పుడు కూడా న్యూ డేటా సెట్ నేమ్ ఏం కావాలో మనం రాస్తాం. అంటే నాకు క్లాస్ అనే డేటా సెట్ క్రియేట్ చేయమంటున్నాను, కానీ ఎక్కడి నుంచి క్రియేట్ చేయమంటున్నానండి? సాస్ హెల్ప్ అనే లైబ్రరీలో ఉన్న క్లాస్ అనే డేటా సెట్ నుంచి క్రియేట్ చేయమన్నా. నా ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేసి అనుకోండి ఏమవుతుంది ఇప్పుడు వర్క్ లైబ్రరీలో క్లాస్ అనే డేటా సెట్ క్రియేట్ అవుతుంది. హియర్ ఇట్ విల్ క్రియేట్ వాట్ వీ కెన్ ఫైండ్ ఇన్ దిస్ వన్. In the class dataset, we can find 5 variables which are name, sex, age, height, and weight, and we can find 19 observations. This is about 19 students' demographic information. You know what you mean by demographic? General information. What is their gender, their age, their height, and their weight. 19 students' information. Now tell me, if I want to say what are the variables that we have, what data that we have in this data set, ఏం చేస్తారు? ఇందులో ఏముందో తెలుసుకోవాలంటే ఎప్పటివరకు ఏం చేస్తామని అందులో ఏముందో తెలుసుకోవాలంటే యూ విల్ క్లిక్ ఆన్ ద డేటా సెట్ అండ్ యూ విల్ ఓపెన్ ద డేటా సెట్ అండ్ యూ విల్ సీ ద డేటా. But today, what is the other alternative that we have?
Null. By using null and
We can see in the log window. We can see in the log window. మరి లాగ్ విండో చూడండి ఏ స్టేట్మెంట్ రాయాలండి? పుట్ స్టేట్మెంట్. పుట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఏం రాయాలి? నేను అండర్ స్కోర్ రాసాను కొన్ని ఏమవుతుందో తెలుసా? ఆటోమేటిక్ వేరియబుల్స్ కూడా వచ్చేస్తాయి. ఈ 5 వేరియబుల్స్ ప్లస్ ఆటోమేటిక్ వేరియబుల్స్ కూడా వస్తాయి. కానీ నాకు ఆటోమేటిక్ వేరియబుల్స్ అవసరం లేదు. ఇందులో ఏవైతే వేరియబుల్స్ ఉన్నాయో నాకు అవే వేరియబుల్స్ కావాలి. మరి అప్పుడు నేనేం చేయాలండి? ఇప్పుడు పుట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ లో అండర్ స్కోర్ రాయకుండా whatever the variables you want to see, you should write only those variables. I want to see name variable, I want to see the sex variable, and I want to see the age variable, I want to see the height variable, and I want to see the weight variable. So now if I execute this program, where this data will going to print now along with the data set, you will also get these 5 variable values in the log. You know why these values are printing in the log window?
because we have
Because we have the file statement. In the file statement, what we have by default? Log. That's why these values are printing in the log window. Now, I could able to see the values in the log window, then why should I create a data set? I do not want to, because I don't require. Then what we can do? Now, instead of writing a data set name, what you can do? You can specify underscore null underscore. Now, చూడండి ఒకసారి నేను డేటా సెట్ డిలీట్ చేసేస్తున్నాను. ఇప్పుడు ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తాను. డేటా సెట్ క్రియేట్ అవుతుందా? No. But it will execute the program. It will not create a data set, but it will execute the program. Program execute అయితే ఏమవుతుందండి ఇప్పుడు? I will get the information in the log window. This is what I want to have. That should be enough for me. But unfortunately, the values are not in aligned manner because the values are separating with a single space. That's why it is non-aligned manner. I want to print the values in aligned manner in the log window. What you should if you want to print in the aligned manner? Before each and every variable name,
At the rate and column number.
from where you want to print, you should write the column name. So that means from the 10th column, I want to print the name values. Now execute the program. Now can you see from the 10th column, we have name. Now, in the same way, I want to print the sex value from the 25th column. Again, what we should do? Before the sex, at the red symbol, now 25. Now, select the program, execute the program. Now, the sex values will print from the 25th column. In the same way, I want to print age values from 35th column. Before the age, at the red symbol, 35. Now, the age values will print from the 35th column. Now, go to the log window. Now, age values are printing from the 35th column. Now, I want to print height from the 45th column. So that's why before the height, at the red symbol, 45, height, execute the program. Now, the height values will print from the 45th column. Now, in the same way, I want to print weight values also from 55th column. Now, before the weight, at the red symbol, 55, select the program, execute the program. Now we are going to have values from 55th column. Now, can you see all the 5 valuable fields are printing from a specific aligned manner? Understand this one?
Sir, can we change the here? Can we change variable position?
Yes, you can.
By
It's up to
changing
you.
the column.
Whatever the column. Yes, if you want to print, if you want to print sex, for example, 85th column, right, at 85. Now the sex values are going to print from the 85th column.
Before 10, sir, for the first variable.
This one.
Yes, sir.
So whatever the column name you want, you can write it. Not a problem at all. Now execute the program.
Can we add
now,
8 or 9, sir? For the sex variable, can we add 8 or 9?
What 8 and 9?
Column number, sir, column number.
What column number you want to have? Where you want to print? Tell me this.
You want before name itself.
He said another.
So, like,
Sir, you remove 25 and
before
keep
the
8.
name, we can add the sex variable.
సార్ అతను నేమ్ ముందు 8th కాలం అవ్వమన్నా చెప్తున్నాడు సార్.
If you want to print from 8th column, you can print it from 8th column.
అలా కాదు సార్, సెక్స్ వేరియబుల్ ముందర 25
ఆర్డర్ లో కాకుండా చెప్తున్నాడు సార్ తను. సెక్స్ అనేది 8th కాలం లో వచ్చేలాగా నేమ్ తర్వాత వచ్చేలాగా అలా.
This way.
సెక్స్ అనేది 8కి ఇచ్చి నేమ్ అనేది 10కి ఇమ్మంటున్నాడు.
That's what I did know. Clear your problem, your doubt?
No, sir. Everybody understands, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I want to print the name values from the 10th column. I want to print the sex values from the 25th column. Now I specified that one. Now I selected the program, executed the program. This is how we got it. Now,
తను నేమ్ ముందు ఇవ్వకుండా సెక్స్ ఇద్దాం 10th కాలంలో అంటున్నారు సార్.
సార్ ఇప్పుడు కాలం 5 పెడతారా సెక్స్ దగ్గర?
You will get it, not a problem.
అదే సార్ డౌట్ అడుగుతుంది.
You will get it from the 5th column. Sex value.
Order of the variable, sir.
You can write
sir,
in any
clarified.
order.
Thank you.
You can specify any. You can write in any order. You can specify any column number. కాకపోతే నేము 10 రాసి సెక్స్ కో 10 రాసి అనుకోండి ఏమవుతుందండి? రెండు సేమ్ కాలం వస్తుంది కాబట్టి దిస్ ఇస్ హౌ వి ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు గెట్ ఇట్. చూడండి 10th కాలం నేమ్ సింగిల్ సెక్స్ ఉంది కాబట్టి ఫస్ట్ కాలం ఫస్ట్ వాల్యూ ఏమవుతుందండి? అంటే ప్రతి నేమ్ ఉన్నటువంటి ఫస్ట్ క్యారెక్టర్ ఏమవుతుందండి? రిప్లేసింగ్ విత్ సెక్స్ వాల్యూ. బికాజ్ ఐ స్పెసిఫైడ్ ద సేమ్ కాలం నెంబర్ ఫర్ బోత్ ద వేరియబుల్స్. Understand this one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, so far the values are printing in the log window. Now I want to print the values in the output window. What should I do?
Print.
In the file statement, I should write print. Very good. Now the values will print in the output window. But now I do not want to print in the output window. I want to print on my desktop in a text file called class. What should I do? Now I'm going onto my desktop. I'm creating, how we can paste the path?
Creating one folder, sir.
I'm creating a file first, a text document and I'm giving a name called class. Now I'm going to get the path, shift right click, copy as path. Now go to the program. Now instead of file print, I will give the path of the text file now. Now if I execute this program, now the direction will change into my desktop into a file called class.txt. Now I executed the program. Now I will go on my desktop. Now here we have the data. Can you see all the 5 variable values? 23 observations are printing in a text file. Clear this one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But if I have a report like this one, anybody can understand what is this data? No. If you want to print the data, first what we need to do? We should print variable names. Then only somebody can understand what data it is. Otherwise, who can understand what is this 14? And who can understand what is this 69 or what is this 112.5? We should have a proper variable names. And in tomorrow's class, we'll see how to write those variable names, how to write the headings, and how to print this data, how to export the data. We'll see everything in tomorrow's class. Understand this one?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Anybody has got any doubts so far?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you copy whatever you are executing and send it through WhatsApp, sir, so that it would be easy for us to remember.
This topic is not at over. Do you want me to do it tomorrow or do you want me to send it today?
Send it today.
And I have a habit of every time deleting my programming, and I will do tomorrow. We are going to write this program fresh from tomorrow onwards, so I won't delete it and I will export every day from tomorrow onwards. Okay?
Yeah, okay. Do it every day, sir.
Okay.
That would be great.
Sure. Okay then. See you guys.
Sir,
See you in tomorrow's class. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
సార్ ఇది సెమికోలన్ లాంటివి ఉంటే అంటే మనకు ఇన్ఫెల్ బఫర్ లో చూపెట్టాలా ఇన్పుట్ బఫర్ లో
ఇన్పుట్ బఫర్ సెమీకోలన్స్ అంటే అర్థం కాలేదు.
జంప్ అయిపోతుంది అన్నారు కదా ఆ ఇన్పుట్ బఫర్ లోకి. అప్పుడు మన డాటాలో సెమికోలన్స్ లాంటివి ఉంటాయి కదా స్టేట్మెంట్ ఎండింగ్ లో, సో అవి కూడా జంప్ కావా?
స్టేట్మెంట్
ఎందుకంటే మనం ఎర్రర్ చూసేటప్పుడు అవును సార్, సెమికోలన్ లాంటివి పెట్టడం మర్చిపోతే ఎర్రర్ చూపిస్తుంది కదా, అది ఎలా స్పెసిఫై చేస్తుంది?
సో మీకు ఎర్రర్ ఉంటే కనుక ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవ్వదు. ఫస్ట్ లోనే మీకు లాగ్ విండోలో రెడ్ కలర్ ఎర్రర్ చేస్తుంది. అక్కడ ఎర్రర్ వచ్చిందంటే కనుక ద ప్రోగ్రామ్ విల్ నాట్ బి గెట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటెడ్. ఆ ఎర్రర్స్ అన్ని లేకున్నప్పుడు ఆ ఎర్రర్స్ కూడా నలిఫై అయినప్పుడు ఇఫ్ దేర్ ఆర్ నో ఎర్రర్స్ దెన్ ద నెక్స్ట్ ఫేజ్ విల్ టేక్స్ ప్లేస్. మీకు ముందే చెప్పా, ఫస్ట్ ఎర్రర్స్ ఉందో సింటాక్స్ ఎర్రర్ చెక్ చేసుకుంటుంది. సింటాక్స్ ఎర్రర్స్ ఉంటే లాగ్ విండోలో రెడ్ కలర్ ఎర్రర్ వస్తుంది. లేకపోతే కనుక నెక్స్ట్ కంపైలేషన్ ఫేజ్, నెక్స్ట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ ఫేజ్ జరుగుతుందని చెప్పారు.
ఓకే సార్.
ఓకే.
Excuse me, sir.
ఓకే.
Yes.
Sir, if we have 200 variables in an file and if we don't want to print automatic variables in the log window, then how can we write the program, sir?
So if you variables you want to print all the 200.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You need to mention all the 200 variables, or otherwise, at least you should know the first variable and the last variable. So in that scenario, what you can do? You can write like this one. The variable 1, whatever the first variable that we have, double hyphen symbol, and the 200th variable.
Okay, sir.
So by specifying the double hyphen symbol, you can do that one.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.